Yeah, I'm Rhys Buckingham, a retired ecologist who spent a lot of the early part of my bird work working on threatened species. Recently, you would have heard there's been a reward put out for South Island Kōkako. Well, it doesn't figure at all for me, apart from the fact I started about 40 years before the reward was announced. Why the Kōkako? Why searching for it? A challenge. I think I like challenges in my life. I don't know where the name grey ghost comes from. With Kōkako, they're incredibly furtive. So you've got an extremely difficult bird that doesn't seem to want to call. It almost feels as if this bird doesn't want to be found.
Rhys invited us to come into the bush with him to show us his most recent study area, with the hopes of capturing the elusive Kōkako on camera.
The broken back. I don't ever leave without a cup of coffee now. Crikey, we'll just have sips. Because I haven't got many mugs. Give it a shake. The old traditional Charlie Douglas method. And I reckon he only bought whiskey.
Whiskey in the morning coffee?
Probably. He probably had whiskey in the morning. No, it's at Weka.
We began the hike into an area of remote bush in a region called Abel Tasman. Rhys has been searching all over the South Island for the Kōkako over the last 40 years and has dozens of camera traps set up in this area. What is important to you?
I suppose the real key driving force, since I thought I heard a Kōkako in 1977 or thereabouts in Fiordland, that my driving force has been to try and find this very rare, close to extinct bird. This call, when you're lucky enough to hear it, is absolutely mind-blowingly beautiful, particularly when they do a long series of cathedral bell chimes. There is nothing like it. So being hypnotized by the call of Kōkako, the next thing, of course, was how do we save the species for generations to come? A lot of the skeptics would say, well, they were never there, Rhys, but there's still what they can't argue with. There is an anomaly there. And anomalies, one thing about anomalies, they don't exist without a reason. It simply feels like rain, all right? Right, we're going up to the helicopter pad at Castle Rock's hut, and from there I've got a route in to the Kōkako study area, where I've got several cameras. The hopes are one day I'll get the grey ghost bird coming in. There's got to be a Kōkako here. It's not a very serious accident on this one. Some of them, I could break my ankle, to use all my knees actually here, when it's wet.
What are the chances that this is called a Kōkako?
Only the chances are exactly related to when I check the data. Well, you never know. This is, for a start off, this tree here is exactly a tree I could see a Kōkako running up. It would almost focus on a tree like this. It would love this tree. And if it happens to be a Kōkako that's thirsty, there's still plenty of water in there. See its little perch underneath the ice cream container? It's all designed.
What do you think you'd do if you got the money?
Oh, I've spent so many thousands, so many 10,000s probably on equipment for this, that really the money doesn't matter too much. I was only partly joking there. Birds don't seem to have the same ego as human beings.
When do you think you would have first called yourself a bushman?
I suppose when I left varsity and headed by myself to the south coast of Fiordland and started living on hoo-hoo grubs and what I could catch on the sea, I would say that was the first time I considered myself a little bit of a bushman. I just headed away from civilization into the bush.
Why did you do that? What made you go?
I got sick of academia. I got sick of varsity. It drove me crazy. A lot of people go a bit crazy after several years at varsity. It's quite a lot of pressure in a way, passing exams, and I was in my honours year and I decided I'd had enough of all this science. That answers your question why I became a bushman, because I wanted to head bush. I felt more at home in the bush than at varsity. So there's your answer.
Thanks.
This is my tent when I'm not sleeping in the hut. The hut's full of people. Hopefully not tonight. This is where I live. It's because it's not flat, it's very awkward. Sleeping even, you tend to roll. I've tried to flatten the base, but it's not a very comfortable location. It seems to be safe from the naughty Kia. I've just got a few more cameras to check here. And of course take you to the model, the key site, and the camera that might have got the photograph. Model, can you see it?
Yeah.
That, at this distance, there goes the grey ghost. Oh, what a shame, too bad. But this is the key local area where I'm pretty confident there's a Kōkako. And the Kōkako is likely to come up to the ridge here to sing in the early morning. 2022 Duchess. Seen any Kōkako on it yet?
Seeing myself.
Oh yeah, it does take a lot of...
Yeah. Is that a possum?
That's a possum going after my model. One that hasn't torn the model to bits. It would eat the eggs at a nest, and probably the nestlings. Hello, wee robin. Now I'm talking to a robin. But if I think the real worry is, for a bushman, you can talk to a robin, talk to the birds as I always do, but if I think that the birds answer me back, then there's a problem.
Was your family big on the outdoors?
No. I just had my mother. My dad died very early. I don't remember him. My brother, I managed to entice on some outdoor trips, but it wasn't really his thing. So it was really just me, just a brother and I, as all our family was. And Mum was crippled with arthritis, and those bumblebees are driving us up the wall. When you talked about me being spiritual, I do have some energy that I can detect. I've always had that in my life. I've had some clairvoyant experiences that are unexplainable, really, just extraordinary. On a train journey in India, I had a similar type vivid dream, but it was absolutely beautiful. It was my Kōkako bird bonging. Wong, wong, wong. And when I woke from that, I seemed to be telling me I've got to come back to New Zealand. I have had one experience from someone who presumably died, like a flash from the sky. I had a religious experience, yes, you could probably call it that. I seem to be able to communicate through music with this guy. Even trying to talk to you now, I'm reaching this amazing state of bliss where you just melt. These sort of experiences, all I can say it happened. Some people in the audience will say, well, I've imagined that. So they will probably say, well, this works against me. He probably imagines Kōkako as well. But I know I didn't imagine it. You have to take my word of trust. And often in life it comes down to trusting one another. And this is really important. It's part of what I find the values of life. Peace, love, and trust is incredibly important. So if any listeners do not trust me, then that's fine. That's their problem.
Is peace your favourite feeling?
It's one of them. Yeah, love and peace joined together really when I encounter a bird and we just sit down and have a little conversation maybe. The bird with its own language and mine with mine. There is a feeling of peace when I'm with the birds and with the forest and the vegetation and with the sounds of Kōkako that on a rare blue moon day come out of the foliage in the dawn or the dusk. How strong's that? Perfect. That is a perfect spot. I forgot it's the small speaker, so I might as well go full volume with this. Imagine if we heard that. Isn't that beautiful?
How would you feel if you heard a reply?
Wow, I'd be ecstatic. There's no mistaking a call like that. It can't be any other bird. And I've heard that call only once in 41 years. 42 years.